Well, it's just gone 9 o'clock Central African Time. This is BTV News. We are broadcasting live from the nation's capital, Gaborone. I am Mudibile Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Members of the ruling party employed to come up with new ideas to contribute to the development of the party structures. Renowned politician, author, and struggle icon Dr. Michael Dingake laid to rest this morning. And Gaborone United progresses to the quarterfinals of the Orange FA Cup after defeating Security Systems. CBC Scott is interpreting in sign language. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Now, in our first story, the chairperson of the Botswana Democratic Party, Mr. Botswana, who is also the vice president, employed members of his ruling party within the Shosho Mahalape region to come up with new ideas to contribute to the development and growth of the party's structures. Mr. Botswana said this when addressing the Shoma Special Regional Conference in Mahalape yesterday. Love Mo Mario with more.
As the BDP regional structure held their conferences, the Shoma region also gathered in Mahalape ahead of the national elections to deliberate on issues of interest to propel the party forward. The party chairperson, Mr. Botswana, appealed to the BDP die-hard faithfuls within the Shoma region to come up with ideas that will attract new membership for the growth of the party.
The structures are very effective. Haraba tebo taboga re bo re senya dilo mme ne re tshwanetse re di bakanya bulela ditwe ina le melao le melawana ya ta gore le bale lotso mathata a rona re bala melawana le melao ya silo ha ile gore sa re ama go le kana go eo re palelwa ke gore ha o le motho o mokuraga o bale hela melao le melawana ya bulela ditwe le ha o sa emela ditho le ha o sa emela ditho bakere ka gore ka moso go nna le bothata o le mo structureng o bo sa itse gore o gakolola jang o baakanya jang
ha o ka kwa o utlwana le motho ha o ka kwa kopana le motho o sena lerato yaanong batho go kry-a ratana le sekala tsa party e motho o go lokwanta kwa go tsididi go lokwanta kwa go tsididi.
Top of the agenda was the nomination of the presidential candidate who will lead Democrat for the upcoming elections, and the regional chair, Mr. Joseph Chienda, says they agreed to nominate President Dr. Masisi to be their presidential candidate at the 2024 general elections. Still in Mahalape, BDP Women's Wing, led by their chairperson, Ms. Peggy Serami, also held a special media briefing, and they too endorsed President Masisi to be the face of their party.
Party re le huka le lengwe re setse re isitse leina ka gore rona sa le re bone se go pele le re sa profiti mine re bone se go pele gore leina leo ke lone le re tla be ra ka lone go pele go ditlhophong tsa 2024 ha re ipaakanyetsa ditlhopho di winwa ka dipalo dipalo tse di irwa ka gore re nne re ngoke batho ba tle go partyng ya Tomkraga re ngoke maloko a masha a mangwe re ba tsaya ba le go gong kgotsa ba ne ba tlhobogile kana ka mabaka a hehela ga ke rumole ope a jaaka Tomkraga.
The BDP used this opportunity to welcome new members into their fold from the opposition ranks, amongst them Ms. Gertrude Boko, the mother of Mahalape East former legislator Mr. Yandani Boko, who resigned recently from his seat. Love Mo Mario, BTV News, Mahalape.
Gaborone region has nominated President Dr. Masisi as the Botswana Democratic Party 2024 presidential candidate. Speaking at the Gaborone region Special Congress, the Vice President, who is also the party chairperson, Mr. Botswana, said BDP remains solid and progressive under the visionary leadership of President Masisi, with sound policies and development programs for the prosperity of Botswana. Klotla Matlabapiri with more.
Gaborone Region's presidential nomination makes it the 6th region out of the 14 BDP regions who have formally made their nomination for the party presidency so far. This is one of the internal processes guided by the Constitution of Botswana Democratic Party to uphold the principles of participatory democracy, inclusivity and transparency.
Ene yo yang wetelela puso ya rona ko pili yo tabenga eteletse di campaign tsa rona, the face of the party re tswa hara go dira ditsholohetso re libile gore molao motheo wa rona wa reng re itse gore molao motheo wa rona do tse dingwe tse motho a ka di nopola mo teng ke go leka go lwantsha lehuma ke go leka go lwantsha kgetololo re gatetse pele yanong re itebagantse ka di program ke itse bo Chama Chama, leaving no one behind. These
Democrats were encouraged to jealously guard the integrity and principles of their party's democratic processes and carry them through to 2024 general elections.
You are capable of it. You are capable of peace and harmony. You are capable of building unity. You are people of good character.
Following this party presidency nomination, the BDP still awaits to hold their primary elections, which will determine parliamentary and council candidates to contest with other opposition parties at October general elections. In the meantime, they continue to welcome and register new members. BTV News, Gaborone.
Meanwhile, the Botswana Congress Party has endorsed their leader, Dumelang Saleshando, as their face of the 2024 general elections campaign and also their presidential nominee. Speaker said his launch yesterday described him as a capable individual who can be trusted through a vote. Ontatile Buti reports.
Following the voter registration that has been ongoing and yet to be completed, the BCP is busy at work preparing the ground for the October general elections. The party has started its campaign on a high note, revealing that Torch Beram, who is the presidential candidate.
Really the veteran because una le dikeletso tsa Batswana ko pele sa gagwe o di beile ko morago
re le bomme ba Botswana Congress Party re tsa boikarabelo ra ri o re le mohang ra mo itse ibile ra mo tshepa ibile ra mo ikanya.
In this campaign, the BCP has formed an alliance with the Botswana Labour Party.
Piano ritila golo kaela makhonte ritila golo bokaela mantshitsidi ritila golo kaela senamphatswana yo beilwe monwana gore ka October kena tla bonga re teletse pele.
The BCP remains adamant to bring change if given a chance to govern Botswana.
2024 re ka khona go tsa diphetogo tselo di batlang lo la tsela Botswana re bata dikgaolo di le 31 re bata go aga puso re le nosi and I have no doubt ke ga kena pelaelo epe I can feel it in my bones 31 is coming.
Other than the presidential launch, other political actors are already at the tail end of their preparations, finalizing their approach toward the 2024 general elections. But for now, the BCP is in a fierce contest with the ruling BDP, UDC, and others in what looked to be a great battle to swing voters either sides in the coming few months. On Boti, BTV News, Gaborone.
Now, renowned opposition politician, struggle icon and author Dr. Dingake was laid to rest this morning in Gaborone. Different speakers at the funeral service highlighted that Dr. Dingake was a symbol of the history and intimacy shared between Botswana and South Africa. So the fellow Tombale compiled this one.
Hundreds of mourners, including cabinet ministers, current and former, and representatives from South Africa's African National Congress, ANC, which he was a member during the liberation struggle, paid their last respect to Dr. Dingake. Dr. Dingake was applauded for his strong character that served as a unifier, always reminding Botswana and South Africa of their shared history and that unity is still necessary for the future.
In paying homage to Kitso, we recall the sacrifices that the people of Botswana made in support of our struggle. We remember and pay tribute to the many Botswana who paid the ultimate price when the murderous apartheid forces conducted military raids in defiance of the sovereignty of Botswana. Let the bonds of friendship between our people remain a lodestar as we strive to build a better life for all.
The umbilical bond between Botswana and South Africa, derived from familial, linguistic, and cultural affinities, best represented by the sacrifices of Dingake for the liberation of our people.
The president of Botswana Congress Party, Mr. Dumelang Salashando, showered Dr. Dingake with praises for his political beliefs when he founded the BCP.
My discipline was broader than just normal mischievous or forms of misconduct. For Mike, discipline meant keeping time, being on time. For Mike, discipline meant taking responsibility as a member of an organization.
The President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, sent a message of condolences on behalf of his family and the people of Botswana.
Dear Mrs. Dingake and family, it is with profound sadness that I learned of the passing on of your beloved husband and father, Dr. Michael Kitso Dingake, an accomplished political leader, writer, and the founding president of the Botswana Congress Party. He will be remembered for his unwavering commitment and selfless service to this nation.
In his final days, Dr. Dingake showed the humility he was known for, and he pleaded to be buried in a simple coffin amongst people of all classes as one of them. Tsolofelo Tombali, BTV News, Gaborone.
The Motor Vehicle Accident Fund case manager, Ms. Buyani Chidoda, has encouraged the public to learn and understand the different services that the organization offers to those affected by road accidents. Ms. Chidoda said this in Johnny during a seminar meant to raise awareness on support provided by the organization to those who have been involved or affected by road accidents. Tato Ranna.
Road traffic accidents continue to affect many families as they claim lives and cause severe injuries and unbearable experiences that compromise the economic stability of families. It is against this background that the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund is playing an active role in increasing awareness to influence the best practices in road safety.
How to siwa ka NVA, kana mwa to siwa ka NVA. Ya be le go gokotsa bothokohela mme seemo sone ga se se re se tlhokang ka gore o ka nna segole kana wa latlhegelwa ke motho ene le gore mo botshelong go ntegela ga gore ke ene na thusa go tamela lelapa wa ba seyo
re le MVA fund ra bo re le teng re le ka go thusa ha re ka thusang teng mme anong hana ke gona ha re simollang go ikutlwa manoko a dikotsi tsa tsela mo malapeng ha rona. Le ha o ka bono bereka wa amogela 50,000 hela ha o tlhokahala ga re hit 6,000 pula ka kgwedi e le madi a ra ntshang a ya go batsading mme ra ntsha gangwe hela mo ngwageng e le lump sum. So these are some of the socio-economic impacts tse e leng gore dikotsi tsa tsela di tisa mo malapeng.
The fund encounters challenges that slow down the progress of helping the public, hence leveraging on engaging the stakeholders to ensure rolling out of smooth and essential services to the public.
Loss of support. Especially because loss of support ke madi. Re lemoga gore ha gongwe madi a bana kana a bone batho ba ile gore ba hiwa dithuso tse ha dirisiwe ka ha tshwanetseng gore a ka dirisiwa ka teng.
Ha re latlhagelo ke bana ba setsana go ka re ke rona re ka re nna botoka mo go thuseng bana, mme gantsinyana batho ba ile gore ba latlhagelwa ke borre batsadi ba nna le mathata a gore ba nna le go ska ba tshwara bana sentle ka mabaka a gore motho o tla ba a neelwa jalo go to a ye go thusa ngwana a ba sa thuse ngwana mme tota
The public has been advised to be temperament at all times in order to avert possible eventualities brought by road accidents. Tatarana, BTV News, joining.
Multitudes continue to show interest in the recently launched Chama Chama scheme. Mogodisani residents came in numbers to hear firsthand how the scheme operates during a quarter meeting addressed by Area Member of Parliament, Mr. Tumiso Rakare. The fund was set to give financial assistance to the informal sector.
Ever since Vice President Mr. BOTSWANA launched the Chama Chama Fund, BOTSWANA are welcoming it as it brings hope for the informal sector. Mogodisani residents responded to the call in large numbers to get first-hand information.
La 5 years ago, governmento a kwayo ke tsela ya. Go tla fund di kana le tlolile le na le managa le namba di kana ka 1 billion pula. Puso ya lona ntse ka re e dira mananeo a mantsi a kere. Mme ga gona kana go epe e kilana le nana le ra hapegileng.
Parastatals given the mandate to roll out the Chama Chama Fund explains what is needed for one to benefit from it.
As now kanna go tsa kana go ikopela tshematshe mme a re gore o tsa mo kolota hela o re manane wa tata a re ya ka gore o santse re uduela ke gore yo mongwe le ena ta thusiwa ke e nngwe ke gore a mme go na le age limit ke 18 years and above.
Se se re tlhokang ke sesupo sa gore o mogwebi wa informal sector. I kana hawkers license, I kana lekwalo le pehela le le tswang go makalaneng a o thusanya le one le le supang gore o mogwebi. Re rulagantse gore o sontse gore batho ba botlhe ba ba dirang ba ikopelang Chama Chama ba ikwadise. Jaanong ikwadiso e dirwa go Local Enterprise Authority.
Area MP for Mogodisani Mr. Tumiso Rakare urged his constituents not to hesitate to apply for Chama Chama Fund in order to develop their business and bring a change in their societal lives.
Ako rona re le morago wa Mogodisani re nne pharologanya. Re tswe mo dikganyeng tsa rona tsa tsatsi le letsatsi tse di re gogelang ko morago. E re a go te difomo ke tse a re go ditlatsa be re di thata. Mme ntlha bangwe ba kgona. Re tla hanya sida ena le beng ba yone.
BOTSWANA were encouraged to apply for Chama Chama Fund and to visit Leah and SIDA offices to seek clarity in order to avoid fraudulent. Budulo Mogoros, BTV News, Mogoditshane.
Principal Crop Production Officer at the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Production, Ms. Miriam Musimanyane, says her office is anticipating very low yields this year after months of extreme heat, dry spells and scarce rains experienced during the plowing season. Ms. Musimanyane says it's unfortunate that farmers who plowed through the monoculture program will not be able to supply the government grains coffers with the 2 bags of grains as a pay agreement.
272 farmers received the Molototo grant in Kgalagadi South. However, the ongoing hot temperatures resulting in severe drought experienced in the country left them with despair as they rely on sustenance farming. Ms. Msimia says even crops that often perform well in dry conditions, such as beans and corn, failed to produce any yields.
gore te khona gore thuse balimi ba te bantshe dijo hela ela go gore hela re ke khwetho ya lwapiene gore dirile gore tomol tote ya me ke nna ke te anu ga e diri tiro ya yone.
Farmers had the potential to produce high yields through Temoletoto, but extreme heat and scarce rain ruined their plans. Farmers say they will at least make animal fodder with the dry reed from their farms. I will harvest lab for animal feed.
Tsone dinawa ka botsone ka tebo ya matso ga ne se mogote o kalokalo di ka bodisitse di simoletse go tsala ka gore di a thunya mathata.
It was too much and all the crops wilted.
Le tshuba le swabisa go a swaba be go tlhotlhorega, and then le one magapu dialo le makatane a tsala go tsweng ga o go gaupana go sha go nna go ntsho tsholonyana jwa megabo ga sepe ka nna le bana ba o le mmabo le rrabo.
I am the head of my household, and every year I feed my family by plowing my field. However, I won't be able to feed my family this time. Even though farmers did not produce food this cropping season, they will apply for other government programs in an attempt to alleviate poverty, such as the newly launched Chama Chama fund. BTV News, Zabon Farms.
Lenzuletau Mopani, area member of parliament, Ms. Naniki Makwinja, commended the decision by Mopani Assemblies of God male church members of organizing a march, which through it they will raise the voice of churches in rebuking issues of road accidents and gender-based violence, where men usually affected in large numbers. She said this recently in Mopani as she joined the march. Lizzie Klaas with the details.
After realizing that the male counterparts are the most affected in road accidents, issues and gender-based violence, Mopani Assemblies of God men's sector organized a march at which they can raise their voice to stand in prayer against the endeavors. However, these issues are said to be influenced by the abuse of alcohol, drugs and disobeying road rules and regulations.
About 1.9 people perish annually worldwide through road traffic accidents. In Botswana, on average, we lose about 450 lives annually on our roads, while a few survive, albeit with very serious, sometimes debilitating injuries.
Bosigo le motshegare re na le dikotsi tsa ditsela dikotsi tse di iragalang tse leng gore gompeko di tsaya matshelo a batho mo bongwe nna ka re ga se dikotsi ba gaetso ke mo re irang ka bongwe mo e leng gore ba sepodisi ba tshwanetse ba bone gore ba dira jang ka rona ka gore tse dingwe tsone ra bo re dira ka bomo
boikarabelo jo re bilweng ke jona jwa go rotloetsa pabalesego mo ditseleng. Ne re kopa gore mongwe le mongwe wa rona re le badirisi ba tsela ra re imagine life without you. Segolobogolo yang ka gore kotsi ya tsela e kgona go emisa botshelo gone go ka ponyo ya leitlo mme akanya ditlamorago tsa seo.
Meanwhile, gender-based violence is said to be continually escalating, and men were urged to seek counseling whenever they are emotionally oppressed, since it is the only option that can reduce the cases of gender-based violence which they are engaged in the most.
Last year, Botswana experienced an unprecedented rise of GBV cases, and majority of them were perpetrated by our own.
How many moto litla le nna mmogo mo le husband and wife? O se ka ba itumela go tlhoka go itse maikutlo a gagwe. Le ga e ka bela go sula ma bue wa utlwe. Nkwe e bua dilo tse dintsi ka teng. Tse o sa di utlwe. Tse o tshwantse mo di kgamedi se di diragala.
A re itekeng borre a re itsoseng. A re tswe mo mogopolong wa gore go te borre kana ke batho ba ileng gore ga nke ba bua ke eng re sa change go tswa kgakala re gola re ntse re itlhala ntse go buiwa ka kganyateng gore hey kana borre ke batho ba seng keng ba bua gompieno dithuto di dintsintsi ke eng re sa hetoge.
Churches have been urged to continue raising their voices, praying for this country with the intention of bringing the issues of gender-based violence and road accidents to an end. Lizzie Glass, BTV News, Mopani.
Olibile, you're watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now, moving on, the Coaching Conservation Organization has signed a memorandum of agreement with the Maung Education Sub-Region to include environmental conservation in the school curriculum. Coaching Conservation Organization teaches primary school students, amongst others, on ways of coexisting with animals. Maratha Kaisara reports.
The founder of Coaching Conservation, Ms. Leslie McNabb, says they found it fit to induct students in Gamiland area to coexist with wild animals since they live in a tourism area, saying learning becomes easier in a more practical and fun way.
So we do conservation research, applied solutions towards figuring out how to use our knowledge and our technology to mitigating conflict between wildlife and people. And we have another program called Community Coexistence, which is about also developing abilities and empowering people and reducing poverty and enterprise development and personal development in order for communities to be able to take care of themselves.
Additions into the school curriculum is a welcome development.
End of year 2023, I met the Coaching Conservation Director and the facilitator program for how best can we bring in buy-in school head the leaders of the schools. May we agreed for this year this kind of meeting stroke workshop. Conservation, the importance of why do they need to know for conservation and le bone ba ntshe di program le di materials for the school heads and the teachers ba bone are they in line with the curriculum.
Coaches came to our school. We learned a lot and had a lot of fun. We learned about plants, animals, and natural resources and how they can be beneficial to us. We also learned about plants, animals, and people and how they interact in one ecosystem.
Coaching conservation has taught me a lot. They taught me about the 3 R's: respect yourself, respect each other, respect the environment.
Primary school students also appreciated these lessons. Maratha Kaisara, BTV News, Maung.
Laurent Traoré of Burkina Faso won the International Queen Esther of 2024 in a virtual semi-finals in Maung yesterday. 10 countries were competing in the Queen Esther pageant this year, including Vietnam, Ghana, and Botswana, amongst others. Contestants answered their semi-final questions virtually through the Zoom application. This was the first ever International Queen Esther to be hosted. Maratha Kaisara continues.
Queen Esther coordinator and founder, Ms. Vehai Shurianje, shared that she is proud of the impact of the Queen Esther in the transformation of the lives of young women, saying one of the mandates of Queen Esther pageantry is empowering young women at a national and global level, something the pageantry is fulfilling.
Over the years, we have been doing Queen Esther at national level, and now we are here. This has been the dream. This is the vision. You know, when we first imagined Queen Esther, we imagined a global event, and we are excited that we are here. That today we had a number of countries registered, and today we are working with 10 finalists from different countries.
The pageantry brought excitement to the audience.
It's been a joy to be here at the Queen Esther beauty pageant.
2024. It's been a joy to also help with lead girl training, which was leading to this program, because it is very important, especially on the African continent, to raise young leaders to be ethical and committed to transforming their communities.
So this being my first Queen Esther, event, I think it went quite well, amazing with, technology and how we are able to actually connect with people that are not actually in the room. I thought that was something that was powerful, and it just shows the advancement and how Queen Esther is about being innovative, as well as touching the lives of young people, as well as the girl child. So I think it was a great event, and I really do foresee it growing, and I do feel like next time everybody's gonna be in the room. We had Burkina Faso, who is Miss Queen Esther. I think it was a great showing. It was a lovely, lovely event.
International Queen Esther first runner-up is Dorcas Kabui of Ghana, whilst the Mohong of Vietnam came third. Marataka Isara, BTV News, Maung.
The construction of the 675 million Pula Mandunyane Mathangwane Pula Road project is said to be 4 months behind schedule. This was revealed by the project engineer of CPP Botswana Consultancy, Mr. Kobamelo Koboko, when updating Tonota district leadership as well as Shashe West MP, Mr. Fidelis Malau, during the tour of the ongoing project at Shashe Moke. Mr. Koboko shared that the project started in June last year, and despite the delay, they will redouble their efforts to meet the agreed June 2025 completion date. Abigail Madurubo with more.
The 58 kilometers Manduyani Mathangwane Road construction project is carried out under the Transition National Development Plan linking Tonota and Shashe West constituency. However, the project started on the back footing, and currently it stood at 18% against 39% progress rate.
Project the main road for 58 kilometers between Semotswane and Mathangwane.
The project consists of 58 kilometers main road from Semotswane to Mathangwane, 20 kilometers internal road, 6 kilometers access road, having new bridges and renovating old ones. And also people affected have to be moved so that the construction will take place. 4 houses were built at this site, which at the end of the project will be a permanent way bridge.
Batho ba affectiwang ke tsela ba sutele tsela go agiwa le manto a le 4 ko siting e tabonye nna ya permanent way bridge.
In this short time while I'm available, I have asked the contractor to briefly update us on the progress of the road. Mr. Khoboko, who is the project supervisor, says there are some teething problems encountered, and some of them include relocation of graves along the road and other existing services. He also informed the meeting that this project affected 419 homes, and out of that number, 370 have been paid, 21 are waiting for assessment, while 9 have no land certificate linking them to their homes.
Price increases, particularly the land board.
The contractor is complaining about the high land board price increase rates since he started tendering, so we had to pay him.
Since they are tender,
Residents are encouraged to cooperate with the contractor for the smooth construction of the road, which has already created 229 jobs, of which 209 are citizens, while 20 are non-citizens. Abigail Madorobo, BTV News, Shashe Moke.
You're watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now it's time for Sport News. Liza was again on standby. Liza, we meet for the last time this week. I hope you are feeling well as the weekend is coming to an end.
Of course, I'm ready for Monday.
And winter is upon us already. I can feel the cold temperatures approaching.
That's very, very true.
Give us the Sport News.
Thank you so much, Olivia Samoka. Good evening. I am Liza again with the world of sport. And in our first story, Public Relations Officer of Dingake Gaborone Marathon at Kalon Debele says ever since they started activations for the much-anticipated marathon, they have experienced growing interest in fun runs and physical activity. The marathon held an activation run yesterday and have already registered over 10,000 athletes. Yesterday's run was a warm-up towards the ultimate event, with most athletes looking forward to improving their times. The Dingake Gaborone Marathon, which will be on its 11th edition this year, will be held on the 5th of May, where athletes will compete in 21.1 kilometer, 15 kilometer, 10 kilometer, as well as 5 kilometer races.
Like every year, the preparation has always been great. So far we've registered, I think, about over 10,000 actually, over 10,000 participants. And with such a large number, the preparations are always, hectic and tedious, but we always try to make sure that, we prepare well in time, well in advance. So, well, every year we try to change the theme and make it different. This year, the theme that we have is Paris. We're encouraging the Paris Olympics, the athletes that we have from Botswana. That is our theme. We're trying to align ourselves to the Paris Olympics.
And now moving on, BOTSWANA Dance Club defeated Police B Club 22-14 in a Week 3 Botswana Dance Association League game played at SSG Police Camp yesterday. Katlego Khakole has the report.
BOTSWANA started the game slowly, losing the opening round 5-4. They turned the tables in the second round, however, as they managed to come back into the game, sealing that round by a resounding 7-2. BOTSWANA continued to dominate even in the third round, where they won 6-3. Police B tried to regroup in an effort to make a comeback in the fourth round, but BOTSWANA held firm and claimed that round 5-4 to become the overall winners with a 22-14 scoreline.
Re tswa mo game e nngwe phakela yana ne re tshameka le team ya jwane e le gore e ne ya kgona gore fenya, but re ne ra na le motivation ya gore e re ta mo game ya gompieno re ipolelela gore we want to win this game. Luis e le gore re nnile le yone ko phakela ke ne dirile go e re motivate le gore re tle re kgona go wina game ya gompieno.
We are trying to raise that awareness ya sports mo go bomme mo motshameko one wa di-dart. So it's really on to us by now. We are senior players mo teaming. Me team ya rona the senior players, we are only 3 or 4 kana 5, but 2 is once it's tshwaregile ke ditiro. But honestly, it means gore ha rona re sa performing.
The match between BOTSWANA Darts Club and Police B was a wrap-up of Week 3 of the Botswana Darts Association League, which is currently being played across the country. Katlego Khakole, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And in football news, defending champions Gaborone United progressed to the quarterfinals of the Orange FA Cup after defeating Security Systems 6-5 in a penalty shootout. The two had played to a goalless draw in full time at Dinaledi Football Academy. And in case you missed the action, we have the highlights for you.
Banka ya phoso ratipana semela aba ba tlhalosetsa ari eti address ke sone se baka sa gore ba tsamaye mothusi ya tlanya le letloa mampule masilo belela sengwe ona sireleditse batho ba gamaragile ga ba itse gore go diragetse ka tsela ntsenja mme kgwele yone e thile letloa go a lebega ba address ba itumela baja monate bare hatsela kana ba le bone a re bona ka motho ba iketlileng ke era ya tana le letloa
ya ke tsa ke dumela go no gore a gona ka mogomong ke dumela go no gore re bonye
playing football. I'm very much disappointed though. I'm still yet to go and see the last penalty. Has crossed the line. So if you say so, I will take that. But how can it cross the line and hit the upright and go outside?
What are you putting anyway?
No, anyway, but it's okay. We wanted to go through. It's a game that we wanted to win badly, but it wasn't our day. It's unfortunate we lost, but we'll lick our wind and move on.
Good result for us. Well-deserved victory for that matter.
I thought as well we could have maybe even wrapped it up before we went into penalties. Honestly, we had opportunities. It's a game where we didn't give the opponent anything, to be honest. Our goalkeeper only had to deal with long balls, astray crosses, and so on and so forth. Whereas on the other box, where we attacked, we had so many opportunities. We created overloads on the sides, tried to use more of the inside crosses, crossing from the half spaces, not necessarily from the wide areas. It worked well. I thought we had 3-4 clear chances where we could have scored.
And in the Orange FA Cup quarterfinals draw conducted immediately after the GU Security Systems game earlier, the two Gaborone Giants will each face a mining town outfit as Township Rollers are scheduled to face Orapa United, while defending champions Gaborone United will lock horns with Janeng Galaxy. Soa Flamingos will play against Tafik, while National First Division South outfit UB Hawks will take on Police 11. Well, and that is it for sport this week. Me and you will do this again in a week's time, right here on BTV News, DSTV channel 289. Olibile Samoka is standing by to give us a reminder of our top stories.
Thank you so much, Liza. Let's meet again next time.
Of course.
All right. Before we wrap it up, let's take a reminder of our top stories. Members of the ruling party plot to come up with new ideas to contribute to the development of the party's structures. Renowned politician, author, and struggle icon Dr. Michael Dingake laid to rest this morning. And in sport, Gaborone United progresses to the quarterfinals of the Orange FA Cup after defeating Security Systems. And that is all that we had for you this Sunday. Do stay with us where there's up next.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather forecast brought to you by Elita. Let's take a look at the rainfall Amarakada this morning. Shangata Primary School 20 millimeters, Soa Junior Secondary School 12 millimeters, Mamuno Border 5 millimeters, Mpiti Primary School 3 millimeters, Mwegana Metrical Station and Tangas Primary School 2 millimeters each, Mararan Primary School 1 millimeter. Looking at the current satellite image, clouds are visible over most parts of the country. Tomorrow, expecting cloudy conditions with possibility of scattered thunderstorms over Ganzi, southern southeast Katling and Kwenin districts. Also expecting partly cloudy conditions with possibility of isolated thunder showers. In the morning, we're expecting warm temperatures over Ngamil and Chobe and northern central between 16 and 18 degrees Celsius. Also expecting mild temperatures ranging between 11 and 15 degrees Celsius. In the afternoon, expecting mild temperatures over southern southeast Katling and Kwenin district ranging between 23 and 25 degrees Celsius. Also expecting warm temperatures between 27 and 32 degrees Celsius. As for the SADC region, thunderstorms expected over Port Elizabeth, Maseru, and Manzini, 23 degrees Celsius over Manzini, 17 degrees Celsius over Maseru, and 24 degrees Celsius over Port Elizabeth. Antananarivo, Beira, and Harare expecting showers with 22 degrees Celsius over Harare and Antananarivo, 27 degrees Celsius over Beira. Dar es Salaam and Kinshasa expecting thunderstorms with 33 degrees Celsius over Kinshasa and 29 degrees Celsius over Dar es Salaam. Blantyre expecting partly cloudy conditions with 22 degrees Celsius. That's the weather forecast. Good night.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, government intends to ensure that citizens